Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day number 4. Let's put in the chat our favorite thing that we're most excited about today. Day number 4. And while we're doing that, get on your feet and please welcome to the stage, Mr. Russell Brunson!
Hey, everybody! Good morning, good morning. How are you guys feeling out there today? We've got people from all around the world. We're super excited to see you guys today. And congratulations, you made it to day number 4. You'd be blown away by how many people will go and they'll be excited to change their life, and they will buy a book and they will get it and they'll be so excited to read it, and they'll read chapter 1 and then they're about to start chapter 2 and then they don't. And they never get to chapter 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and they go back to the life they had before. Right? You have no idea how many people go and they buy a brand new course and they're so excited to learn this topic, this thing, and they go through, they watch module number 1 and they're excited, and they just kind of end. Okay? And the same thing's true here, right? Day number 1, we had 11,000 people on live. Day number 2 is a little bit less. Day number 3, a little bit less. And so each day it kind of shrinks, and the people who make it this far are proving to the world, proving to the universe, proving to God, whatever it is that you're worthy, that you're looking, that you're trying to figure these things out. Okay? And those who push through those type of things are the ones who have success. So if you're here today, you made it to day number 4, you've been doing your homework assignments, you've been keeping up, you've been doing all the pieces, you're the people who will be rewarded because of it. Okay? It's true in all aspects of life. Okay, I am coaching my kids' wrestling team, and I see right now the ones who are having success, the ones who show up, the ones that put in the time, that put in the effort. The ones who don't are the ones who are struggling. Okay, and so if you're here today, despite all the craziness that's happening around the world, you're showing up, you're trying to make your life better, your business better. I want to congratulate you for doing that. Okay, so that's number 1. We've been covering a lot of things so far the last 3 days. You've had a chance to hear me talk a lot. And I'm excited because today and tomorrow, the last 2 days of the 5-day lead challenge, I have guest speakers that are going to be here with me today helping, which I'm really excited for. And so the first guest speaker I'm going to introduce her here in a little bit, and she's going to be going deep into the email side of it, right? Okay, we've been talking all these things, all the things we need to do to start generating leads and get leads. And the question is, now that I have them, what do I do with them? Right? I've got these leads, like, I don't want to mess them up. I want to make sure they like me, And I remember when I first got started in this business, and I learned about lead gen. I was excited. I started generating leads. I remember the leads were coming in, and I was like, now what do I do with it? I don't know. Like, do I send an email? Do I not? I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want to send emails too often. Like, I was so scared of all the different things. I remember in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to send out 1 email a month because I don't want to offend them or annoy them so I was like very, very careful. And I built a list up to a couple thousand people. I remember sending an email and being so stressed out and so much stress and so much anxiety. I sent the email out and I'm just waiting for people to like yell at me. And of course I got some unsubscribes. I was all like depressed, like, oh, some people don't like me now. Or a couple people were angry, like, why are you sending me? Because you asked me to send you emails. And I remember being like, I had so much anxiety behind it, okay? One of my goals for today is help you guys get rid of that anxiety, because at first it's going to be kind of weird, okay? But people came to you, right? You didn't go and follow them. You didn't chase them. They saw an ad. They saw you drive traffic. They came to your thing. They saw this lead mag. They were so excited for it. They gave you their email address because they wanted that thing. You then gave them this thing, this framework you created. They're going through it. They're getting value. Okay, you have to understand this is the spot in someone's life that they're interacting with you, right? They just got this lead magnet, they got this value, like this is amazing, and all of a sudden you send an email. Now they know who you are. Now they're excited to get to know you, to build a relationship with you. Okay, if we go back to we talked about the value ladder yesterday. If we go back to that analogy of dating, right? If you go on a date with someone, like an amazing experience, guess what you don't want to do? Just ghost them for the next 6 months because I don't want to offend them or be annoying, whatever, right? If you do that, the relationship very quickly disappears and dissolves. I remember because I was sending my email out once a month, and every time I send the email out once a month, I get tons of people who are like, who are you? They couldn't remember who I was because there was so much distance between when I got the lead magnet and when they actually had a chance to hear from me. Okay? And I remember I had this friend I met, and he told me, and I don't know if I recommend this, but he was emailing his list twice a day. And I was like, what? Twice a day? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I want to make sure people remember who I am. Right? And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do twice a day, but maybe I'll do twice a month. And so I started sending out 2 emails a month. And what was crazy is my income more than doubled. Right? People remembered who I was because I was communicating more often. And I was like, okay, twice a month. What if I did it once a week? So I said, I'm going to email my list once a week. I shifted to once a week. And guess what? My income more than doubled. I was like, people aren't annoyed to hear from me. What if I send out emails a couple times a week? Okay? And so you'll find this thing's kind of counterintuitive. Sometimes we're nervous. We have these leads. I don't want to mess up the relationship with them, so I'm not going to send anything. It's not the case. You want to be building a relationship, sending out emails, getting to know them. Okay? You guys have been getting emails from me every single day in the morning and the night about this, right? Like, hey, they're about to start, jump on. And afterwards, hey, here's the replay if you missed it, right? I'm building a relationship. I'm keeping the doors open. And yes, some people have been annoyed. Some people have unsubscribed. Some people left my world, and I'm happy they're gone. okay? Because you guys are the ones who are worthy enough to get this information and actually do something with it, okay? And so your people will follow you. They will listen to you. They'll be excited to hear from you. And so don't be scared of emailing. That's a big, very, very important part, okay? But of all the email parts, the thing that's the most important is when the lead first comes in, what are the emails you say? Okay, if you're not careful, you can do it wrong and you can distance them. You can, all sorts of things can happen. But if you do it correctly, you can build a relationship with them. That relationship will stick and they'll be more likely to buy from you moving forward in the future, okay? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm excited for it because as much fun as generate leads are, you don't make money from generation of the leads. You actually make money from emailing the leads and selling them different products and services and the things that you have to offer. And so this is where we start transitioning from the lead generation to actually monetizing and making some money. So that's kind of what's happening. So that's what's happening today. And then tomorrow, we've got another special guest coming. And her name is Rachel Miller. She actually just got here last night, which is exciting. She flew in and she's going to be talking to us about how to actually generate the traffic, okay? Because now we've got the system in place. You have the lead magnet, you have the funnel. Now we're going to have the email. So everything, all the structure will be in place. And now we just got to go and take traffic and dump it into the top of this funnel. And people start coming through. They'll start getting a lead magnet. They'll start getting the email sequences and everything else will start taking care of itself. So that's happening tomorrow. She's going to be talking about ways to get traffic that are free, which is exciting. Some of you guys don't have big budgets yet. And so we're going to be going into that. And so that's kind of the game plan. Are you guys excited for today and tomorrow? Awesome. I hope you guys have been enjoying this process. I've been enjoying it so far. It's been so much fun coming in and speaking and serving you guys every single day. It's been, with all the craziness happening around it, I haven't had a chance to do this kind of thing that often recently, and it's just been a lot of fun to come back and kind of reconnect with everybody. So with that said, I'm going to bring out our special guest. She's someone who I had a chance to meet back about the time that we started ClickFunnels. She kind of came to our community and got to know her, and it's been so much fun watching her blossom and grow over the years. And she'll kind of tell her story a little bit here, but she never thought she was going to become a copywriter, writing emails or any of those kind of things. And now 4 or 5 years later, here she is. She's had a chance to speak at Funnel Hacking Live. She's had a chance to do a lot of trainings inside of our community, and she's here to train you guys. So with that said, let's put our hands together for Yada Golden.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hi,
this is Yada.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks
this
for
is
coming.
amazing. Yeah.
So we're so excited to have her here. So first off, for those who don't know, you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell some of your story about how you got here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I met you, like 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago at this point, and I was in such an interesting part in my life. Like, I had just come out of a divorce. I had 2 kids that I was now solely responsible for. And I say to people all the time, I'm like, I had to adult for the first time in my life. Like, I had to pay insurance. I had, rent to pay, all of these things. And I was really looking for a way that I would be able to do that without giving my time to a job. Like, I was like, I don't want to have a job. And that was a realization that I really came to when a girlfriend of mine, I don't know if I've told you this story, she looks at me and she says, well, Yada, you can always get a job at Nordstrom. And this fire ignited inside of me. And I was like, I don't work at Nordstrom's, I shop there, And it was this moment of indignation. And it's nothing against people who work in retail or Nordstrom's or anything like that. But something inside of me came alive and was like, you're meant for more than that. Like, you're capable of more than that. And so that's really how I kind of stumbled into your world, into entrepreneurship and online business and all of those things. And the only thing that I knew that I was good at that point was relationship, right? I was like, I know what went wrong in my marriage and I know why it ended. And I was able to create a really good co-parenting relationship on the back end of it. And so what I did really was going on Facebook and I started sharing the story of what happened and why the relationship fell apart and what I had learned and what I was doing to move forward from that. And the most interesting thing started happening was that people started reaching out to me and saying, oh my gosh, you're navigating this so gracefully. Like, how would you handle this? I have this going on in my life. Can you help me? And that was this real aha moment for me where I was like, wow, people are actually looking for help in this thing that I have experience and expertise in. And now I didn't think at that point that I was an expert. I was like,
I'm gonna be an expert.
Yeah, no, I was like, these people are crazy. Don't they see the disaster that I just created? But luckily for me, my new partner, James, at that point had been in business for a while. And he says, well, why don't you become a relationship coach? And that was really the first inkling of hey, you could actually start a business. And
I'm curious because I know a lot of people, if you don't have a business yet and you're in that phase, you're trying to figure out your business. I think a lot of times we look at some of that and the first question is well, I'm not worthy. I just went through a divorce. I don't feel worthy. What was it, or why was the reason you were able to say like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to take that leap of faith, even though I don't feel worthy at this point, or I don't feel ready yet?
Oh yeah, no, I thought they were crazy. Like I was like, you guys are asking me for help. This is nuts. I think it was really that desire to build something for myself without giving away my time. I was like, I don't want to go get a job and pay somebody to watch my kids while I'm there. You know, I want to be able to be with them. And so it was really a leap of faith. It was just like, can I do this? And do I believe that I can help somebody be better off than they are right now? Yeah. And the answer to that question was yes. I was like, I've read books, like I've done this for myself. I know that I can figure out how to help somebody else get this result for themselves. And that was kind of it. I think the hardest part, honestly, was making that first offer. Yeah. Was when I was like, okay, well, I've been talking to you on Messenger for a while, and I know you have the issue that I have, and I can help you solve it, but like, are you going to pay me money? You know? Then even today, people are like, but how do I do a CTA? And I'm like, it's okay. Just take a deep breath and like believe that you have something that can help somebody else.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then we could fast forward like a ton of time, right? I was in Inner Circle. I started learning about internet marketing, started learning about Facebook ads, started learning about ClickFunnels and just all of these things. And I was hitting my head against a wall because the messaging that I had was really, you know, how to divorce gracefully, like at the end of the day. And nobody wanted to raise their hand for that. You know, nobody wanted to let people know that they were having problems in their relationship. But I would look around the rooms that I was in and I was like, I could help all of these people because it's interpersonal relationships that they're having. Mm-hmm. And this moment of like aha happened where I was like, oh my gosh, the same problem people are having in relationship one-on-one is the same problem that entrepreneurs are having in relationship one-to-many. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know, if I can help entrepreneurs rewrite their story so that they can share that with people from a place of authenticity, but also confidence in themselves and their abilities, what a difference that might make in their businesses. And I mean, within 30 days, like my entire business had changed. I shut down my coaching. I was like, I'm a copywriter now. This is amazing. And now I'm here with you. And it's just been such a crazy ride. But I tell everybody, like Russell always says, once you find that thing that's actually your thing, everything changes and it happens like in an instant. Yeah. And that was my experience. So thank you.
So cool. I love it. All right. So we're talking about emails today. And I know, I think this is kind of fascinating. We've talked behind, off stage about this a little bit, but you know, your stuff you talk about within relationships, right? Like building a relationship and things like that. And an entrepreneur's relationship with their list, like the principles are the same. And one day you said something like, a lot of the way that most entrepreneurs teach their list or treat their list. You want to talk about that? Cause I think it's kind of funny, but also it makes it very like, oh yeah, I see that. And probably people's email lists you're on, you'll notice that this is what they use their list for. And we don't want to be using it this way. So let me talk about that.
Absolutely. So I think that there's 3 different ways that entrepreneurs typically show up for their email audiences. The first one is like a pickup artist. You know, they're just like, hey, it's like a booty call, right? They're just like, hey, you want to buy my thing? And it's like, oh man, like you gotta give a little bit more than being like that booty call, you know? Yeah. I think the second way is really like a player, which they put in a little bit more effort on the front end. They really do kind of care and they do their automations and they set up their sequences and stuff. But the problem is that when they don't make that sale or get what they want in their own time frame, they move on and then they completely ghost you. You never hear from them again, right? And then you've got, who I've been guilty of being a lot, is Mr. Nice Guy, right? The person who gives and gives and shows up every day and is like, oh, I'm here for you. Like, I want to support you. I want to serve you in every way possible. But you never make an offer, right? Because you're just like, if I serve enough, they're just going to call me and tell me that they want to give me their money. And that's not how it works, right?
They never do. You always have to.
They really don't. And so what I really do my best to teach people how to do is to show up as relationship material where you're showing up for them, you're serving them, you're adding value, but you're also challenging them and you're making them think a little bit about themselves and about their situation while giving them opportunities to actually step into working with you and making a change for the better. Yeah. So it's kind of a combination of all 3 of those personalities, right? Like you want to have automations and sequences and put the work in on the front end. You also want to be making offers when the time is right. And you want to add value and show up consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becoming a more well-rounded human. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So what we're going to talk about today with Yada is when a lead first comes in, and there's a lot of different email sequences. Over time, when you go to One Funnel Away Challenge, other things, you'll hear us talk about like lots of different types of sequences. But the first one is like when someone first comes into your world, like it's that first, like the first time they met you, you're introducing them, you're shaking hands, you're getting to know them, and there's a sequence. And there's I'm not even sure if you have an official name for it or not, but there's 6 emails that you do when someone first comes into your world. And I don't know if you want to briefly talk about like kind of what all 6 are really quick, and then we'll go down and kind of break day by day and kind of go through each of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But these are the first 6 emails. They're going to do exactly what she's talking about, like build that relationship, provide value, and also ask the call to action to really ultimately get the thing that you're trying to get towards the end.
Yeah, for sure. And so for me, I call it the warm-up sequence. I believe in your world, it's the indoctrination sequence. A lot of people call it a lot of different things. The way that I actually came up with this sequence was thinking back to when I lived in San Diego and my mom was teaching me how to drive. There was this huge on-ramp to the freeway. And of course, the freeway's going at like 65, 70 miles per hour. And I'm at a dead stop up here, right? So I had this big hill to gain the speed so that I could properly merge with traffic. And I started thinking one day, I was like, when a prospect comes into our world, they're at a dead stop and our business is moving. Like we're having a certain conversation with our people, with our students, with our audiences, and they don't know anything about that. So I was like, how do we help them merge into our business without crashing, right? And so my thought was, when I meet someone at a conference or at an event or anywhere really in person, what are the 6 questions that I ask them or that they ask me and that help us get to know each other? And I turned those into emails. And so the first one is, who are you, right? This is the first question that every single person that meets you has on their mind. Who are you? Second is, where did you come from, right? Third, what do you do? Fourth, how do you do it? Fifth, well, who do you do it for? And sixth, how can you do it for me, right? And so I took that framework of how you meet someone in person one-on-one and said, well, let's do the same thing when we're behind our computers. Because something weird happens to people when they get behind the screen of a computer and they're just like, hi, I'm Yada, buy my thing. And it's like, that's not what we do. That's not how we interact.
You wouldn't do that in real life.
No,
if you
you
met someone.
totally wouldn't do it. You'd be like, oh my gosh, that person's so weird. Get me away from them. And so I just took a little bit more time to get to know people, to really onboard them into my world, to let them know a little bit about my backstory. And I found that doing that actually invites conversation, right? It engages them in a way that does help them feel like they know who you are. And I think more importantly, it connects the dots for them as to why it is that you do what you do, because it's a logical progression in your story, right? If you were to tell somebody, I built a potato gun all these years ago and now I run a software company, they're like, well, how?
We're missing something in between.
Exactly. Like it's a big gap for them to bridge. But if you're like, well, I did the potato gun and then I started doing the CDs and I figured out that I could do it online, and then I was like, hitting my head against the wall because I'd hire all these people. And I thought there had to be an easier way. And so I pulled this team together and we created ClickFunnels. And now I have a software. You're like, yeah, that totally makes sense. I want to do what he did.
There's the onboarding ramp into the...
Exactly. It's
now they're ready to talk about funnels at that point.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like they're not crashing. They're just like, okay, I'm here for the ride. And the coolest thing is, I heard you in your opening, you were talking about how, you would watch when you would email people and there was like unsubscribes. And you do want people to unsubscribe. Like a lot of people have so much fear of the unsubscribe. And I think that what you're doing here with this lead challenge is amazing because it's solving that problem. Most of the people who fear the unsubscribe don't have a systematic way of adding people to their list. And so when you have, let's say, 1,000 people on your list and you see 300 drop off, you're like, oh, I'm going to run out of people, right? But if you're adding 50, 100, 1,000, however many people a week, a day, it doesn't really matter. You're just like, okay, I'm weeding out the people that don't like my story, that don't like what I have to say, and I'm keeping the people who do. And so if we keep with the freeway analogy, it's like if they merge onto your business and they realize that, oh, I'm on the wrong street. It's like, okay, take the next exit. And that's totally okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it like it's like a sifting and a sorting, right? Like you're dumping all these leads in because they all want the lead magnet. The sexier lead magnet, more people come in. But then you're like figuring out like, are these my people? Am I the right leader? Right? Because I talk about this a lot. I feel like business, for all of us when we're in business, like we're called to serve a group of people. And just because I serve this group of people, a lot of people are going to come in, but a lot of them are going to leave, and that's okay. Like it's the sifting and the sorting. Again, we have 35,000 people join this challenge. Every single day, hundreds of you guys are unsubscribing. That's totally cool. It means this is not the right fit. You don't like me, I talk too fast, I'm annoying, like whatever it is, that's cool. I want to figure that out now before you give me money. Because if you give me money and then you don't like me, it's gonna be super weird and like awkward, and like I'd rather you guys leave now if you don't like me at this point and go find someone else. And that's cool. If like if you're not who I'm called to serve, go find the next person. Like find the person who's the right leader for you, and you should feel the same way about your audience. Like if they don't connect with you, they should find the right person. Because I think when all said and done, we want the result for our customer more than, I don't care if you give me money or someone else, as long as you get the result. That's the mission. So.
Oh, 100%. And I think, just to kind of piggyback on that, it's so important that you show up as who you actually really truly are, right? Like you and I laugh all the time because both of us are introverts and we get kind of awkward sometimes, and it's okay, but I lead with that. I'm just like, hey, I'm Yada Golden. I really love my partner. I love my kids. I love my dog. He's a Frenchie and he like snores all the time, and I love Star Wars. And, like I talk about all of those different kinds of things because it's who I am, right? Like I even drop an F-bomb every once in a while in my emails, and I'm like, if you're the type of person who's going to be offended by that, you're probably not a right fit for me, and that's okay. Go find the person who is. And I know that you do the same. It's like by showing those different facets of your attractive character, of who you actually are, it makes it so that your content creation is much easier and it's much more sustainable because you're not playing a part that you think somebody wants you to be. You're actually showing up as who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Super cool.
All right, 2 real quick things that I'm going to dive in email by email. So number one is a week or two ago, Yada came over to the office and I had her read her entire 6 email sequence. And
story time with Yada.
Yes, story time with Yada. And she writes emails longer than me. And so I want to stress, like, it doesn't matter the length, it matters like the content, right? But in the one page you guys will be getting here in a minute, you can actually watch and have her, she's going to read her 6 emails. You'll see like a practical application of what we're talking about. We're going to talk about some of the structure on each of the emails, but if you want to see her actually doing it, when you get the one pager tonight, go watch the video and you're like, oh, this is cool. They're hearing how she tells the story. At the same time, don't be like, she wrote a 4-page email. Russell can't do that. Like it's the story. It doesn't anyway. So that's number one. Number two is Jim Edwards and Yada got together, and Yada kind of shared, here's my framework for the emails, and then Jim took her frameworks and reverse engineered into software. And so the other thing we're gonna give you in the one pager today is this new software. You fill in the blanks with your stories. You click a button, and it actually will take those and it'll write out this 6 email sequence, which is awesome. You can take it and copy and paste it. Yeah, it turned out. Yeah.
I was like, he's not gonna be able to do it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, he did it.
It's really cool. So those are 2 gifts you guys are getting here in a little bit. But I just wanted to let you guys know that because, again, right now we're talking about some of the structure. And some of the things you'd be like, okay, I kind of understand that, but I need to see it. Okay, you'll be able to actually see it in the one pager. So, all right, so that said, let's go day by day. So day number 1, tell us what the question is and how do you do that email? Like, what are the things you're thinking through as you're writing the very first email that someone's getting when they first get your lead magnet?
So the very first email is basically my handshake, right? It's just like, hey, I'm Yada, nice to meet you, And I want to tell them a little bit about how I became who I am today. It's not like, hey, I was born in San Diego in 1982. Like, nobody wants your biography in this email. It's really about telling them the things and the parts of your story that are relevant to them right now, right? So I start with, I believe I start at the kitchen table in my new apartment, and I'm just like, here I was sitting at this kitchen table the first time that I have a mortgage to pay or a rent to pay and a phone to pay and like all of these things. And I'm stressed because I don't have money. What I'm attempting to do with sharing that story is to meet my prospect where they're at, right? Because if somebody's looking to engage their email audience or is looking to learn how to write emails, my guess is that they're wanting to make more money. And so they may not be in as dire a situation as I was, but the feeling, right? The underpinning feeling of that whole situation is the same. It's like, I have my head in my hands. I'm trying to figure out how to make this work and I'm frustrated, right? And so that's what I'm really going for with the story. It's connecting with them on an emotional level of sharing a story that comes with the feeling that everybody's experienced. Yeah. And so, I would ask all of you guys, as you're thinking of your own story, to say, where is your prospect? Like, what is the pain? What is the frustration? What is the shame or whatever it happens to be that they're feeling, that they're wanting to overcome? And what's the story that you can share with them that will help them connect with you and think, oh my gosh, he's felt that too. She's felt that too. Let me continue reading so that I can see how this wraps up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And one of the mistakes a lot of people make that I see, especially when you become an expert or whatever, is our natural desires. We want to position ourselves as like, look at how great I am. So if my first email was like, my name is Russell Brunson, I'm the CEO of ClickFunnels. This year we did blah, 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 millions of dollars. Like, you think because like, oh, I'm letting know who I am. They're going to think I'm awesome. They're going to listen to me. That's not actually what works. What works is you getting off your pedestal, coming back to where they were at and like, I was in the same spot you were in. That's why I created this thing that we're talking about. Let me tell you my story. And that's what builds the connection. And now they want to go on the journey with you. Okay, I don't know why it is. I see this I see people doing webinars and Facebook Lives and every communication. They all want to posture because it makes them feel better about themselves. But as soon as you posture, it pushes them away. Okay, so get off your posturing and come back down and go back to where they're at right now and where you are at and relate to them and like share the empathy. And that's what builds the connection that gets them to be like, oh my gosh, Yada understands me or Russell understands me. And reading the story and like, okay, tomorrow's email, I'm gonna look for and open it because like I actually connected with that person.
100%. It's like I say, you got to come off of Mount Killam with knowledge, right? Because that's what we think. We're like, I'm going to talk to them about all the cool big words that I know and all of the awesome seminars and people that I've worked with, and like the gap that they have to bridge between their position and your position, if we're even going to look at it as like a height thing, is huge, right? Yeah. And they're just like, I'm never going to get there. They already think it's so hard. If we come off of Mount Killam with knowledge and we do exactly what you said, stand shoulder to shoulder with them and be like, listen, I'm not better than you. I'm just further down the road than you are. Mm-hmm. And I've learned a lot of things by stumbling and falling on my face and picking myself back up and dusting myself off. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that behind the scenes so that you know what's coming up. It's almost like putting out a roadmap for them and saying like, hey, there's some tar pits over there and there's a saber-toothed tiger over there. So like make sure that you watch out because I ran into them. That's how I know. Yeah. And that makes you way more relatable and it makes you trustworthy and it makes you somebody that they understand that you actually can help them because you're talking about something that they're experiencing and they have shame around. Yeah. They don't want anybody to know that they don't know how to build their business or that they don't know how to email their audience. And you're like, dude, I know what that was like. I remember sitting at my computer, like staring at the cursor and being like, oh my gosh, like it's never going to go away. So it makes it way easier.
Cool. So that's email number one. Now, email number one, you're not selling stuff. You're not hard closing them. It's just building the connection so they're going to open email number two and hopefully keep people opening emails in the future.
Completely. And then email number two is really like, where did you come from? Right. And I told you guys a little bit about where I came from. It had nothing to do with geography, right? It had to do with, I got divorced and I became a relationship coach. This is a little bit about how that started. And this is the progression that I went through to become a copywriter. Right. And so that's what I mean by like, where did you come from? Like, where did your business come from? Where did your expertise come from? Like, did you earn it? Did you learn it? Like, how did this come to be? And the one thing I forgot to mention on email one is that all of these emails, I always end them with the call to action is actually a reply. Like, I'm asking them for engagement, especially when you're first building your list, because this is when you're most excited, right? Like, you're going to see 100 or 50 people jump onto your list and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, there's new people. And when you send an email out and they reply, you're like, oh, there's actually really people there. You don't feel like you're talking to that void. And you get to see also like what they're excited to hear from you about, right? And so email number two is very casual also. It's not a super hard pitch. It's just kind of telling them like, this is how I came to do what it is that I do. Mm-hmm. And then in email three, we're really going to start talking to them about what that is.
Cool. So question one is, who are you?
Yep.
Question two is,
where did you come from?
Where did you come from?
Yeah.
I was like, I should have wrote this down in my hand or something. I remember all. Okay. So where did you come from? Is this where you came from? Your back, kind of like leading the gap of like, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Over here.
I was a regular person and now I do this. Yeah. How did that happen? Like, who did you talk to? What conference did you go to? What experience did you have in your life? Right. There was eventually like some valley that you experienced where you were like, never again, right? A la Tony Robbins. It's like, never again. I'm never going to do that again. And everything from then on was different. And then email number three is going to be like, okay, well, what do you do? Like, tell me about what it is that you do. And so for you, it's like, you were like, well, I had this potato gun. Like, you were in school, right? You're just like, I need to make money. And so that was your valley. And then you were like, and so what did I do? I created this potato gun and I started selling these CDs online. And that's where that's what you do, right? Like, you create info products, and then you created an easier way for people to sell those info products, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it was like, I actually help people wrap their heads around what their story is and share it in a way that helps people come in and actually connect with them, right? And so I talk a little bit about like when I had that realization, when I realized that it was a problem for others and not just me, and then the solution that I created for that. Like, did I create the solution? Did I like happen upon the solution, or did I actually intentionally go and create it? Like, that's what this email is about, is so that people are going to start seeing, oh my gosh, she saw that that was a problem for other people. It's actually one of the problems that I have. And she said that she created a solution. I want to hear what that solution is because I trust her. I like her. I want to keep going.
Yeah. When she's talking about this, she talked about earlier, like meet someone at a networking party and the logical questions you would ask them. I picture myself in a conversation like, who are you? Cool. How'd you get there? Like, what do you do? Like it is very natural, like the progression of a normal conversation, which is why it works so well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next email after that?
So number 4, we're going to go into how did you earn it or learn it, right? Like, tell me about how you gained this expertise. For me, the story is actually Jamie Cross in Inner Circle came up to me one day and she said, Yada, I read all of your posts on Facebook. I feel like I could have written them myself. Have you ever thought about writing for another company? And I literally stopped dead in my tracks. I was like, no, I've just been writing and it's not even making me that much money, right? I was like, because I don't have call to actions. I'm showing up like Mr. Nice Guy. And I was like, well, let me give it a shot. She's like, would you write for my company? And I was like, absolutely. And so I interviewed her. I fell in love with her story, with her character, like everything that she was doing. And I just started writing to her audience, and her audience came to life, and they started wanting the products, and we started telling stories about the products and all of these things. And so I saw that there was an actual need for something that I wanted to do and that I was good at doing. And that's really when everything changed. I remember standing up that year at Funnel Hacking Live, and I was in the audience, and I was like, I'm going to speak on stage next year. And I was like, I have no idea how that's going to happen or why that came out of my mouth. But it was just this feeling that I had. I was like, I found my thing. And so I tell them that story, in the email, and it really helps. So, and what I want you to see with all of these emails is that there's inception selling that's happening along the way, right? Because as I'm telling you my story, and as I'm telling you what I did, I'm sharing results and I'm sharing information about what I'm doing for other people and how I came to gain that knowledge and all of that stuff. And so you're naturally already like, oh, like she's the person that I need to talk to if I want to do this in my business. So
yeah,
that's
one thing I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, wait, so I'm not selling in every single email? It's like, well, not directly,
not overtly,
but every email is like building a connect, like it builds a relationship, it builds your expertise, and to the point where like they trust you, they like you, which is like how most sales happen anyway, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm spending 5 days, an hour every single day, plus homework, and giving you guys like stuff like crazy, because I'm hoping by the end of it, you're like, all right, Russell's got the key, he knows what he's doing, I'm gonna go to the next level with Russell, and like that's the value ladder we keep talking about.
Yeah.
And so these emails are doing that. We're at the point now at day 4, day 5, yeah, they're just like, oh my gosh, like I think this person's got the answers. Like I think I found the right person, and that's when it starts pre-selling everything else you're doing.
Well, and I think the really cool thing too is that because you're not going after this. It's like if you met somebody and tried to kiss them immediately, right? If you're just like, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous, I just want to kiss you. And it's like, oh, you're gonna push them away, right? And that's what it's like when you show up as the pickup artist. You're just like, hey, nice to meet you, buy my thing. And it's like, well, hey, nice to meet you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Let me ask you a couple questions. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. It's like 3 or 4 dates down the line, your prospect is actually like, okay, like how, like I'm excited. I really like you. I like what you have to say. You seem like you have a solution for my thing. Like, how do I get a hold of you? Like, how do I work with you? Those are the types of emails that I get back from this sequence. Like, it's email 3, 4, 5, and people are like, how do I work with you? Like, how do I schedule with you?
Where do I send you money, please?
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a cool experience. But especially when you consider like you're not selling, like there isn't actually a CTA. But the invitation is there. The door is open. And so what starts happening is that a lot of those replies become sales conversations because they're like, hey, you told a story about, not knowing how to pay your mortgage or your rent and, wanting to find an alternative. I'm in that same situation. Can you help me? And it's like, well, yeah, I've actually put together this course for you. Or, have you looked into this or that or the other? And so those inbound, it creates the space where you're not selling to people, they're buying from you. And that's such a distinction, and it's like so important because for people that are feel weird or kind of cringy about like being salesy, this eliminates that completely because you're now just opening the door and saying, I'm open for business, this is what I do you want to talk about it? And they're just like, yeah, I do want to talk about it, and you're good.
Yeah That's awesome. Okay, we are on email 5.
Email 5.
Okay, what's email 5?
Who do you do this for? Right? So now we've told them who you are, where you came from, what you do, how you earned it or learned it. We're going to talk to them about who you do this for. This is one of my absolute favorite emails because it's like the inception of all inceptions, because we're going to present them a case study. So if you're just starting out, you may not have like your, grandiose case study yet, but go and find somebody, right? And help somebody get the result that you are promising people. And then tell their story, right? Like whoever that ideal person is for you, and say, when I met Russell, he was, running this huge company, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally help him get his message out. And it turned out that he was looking to do a new onboarding sequence for his people. And so we went through the process. I interviewed him. I had this amazing story. We wrote the emails. He put it out, and these were the results that he got, right? And like, it was so amazing working with him. These are the types of people that I work with. These are the problems that they're having. These are the objections that they had to maybe working with me. This is how I overcame those objections. So you're walking them through the sales process, but you're doing it from a distance so that they don't feel like it's actually about them, right? Like they can hear the story that you're telling about whomever you're talking about and say, oh my gosh, I'm just like Russell, or I'm just like Sharon, or I'm just like John. Like I have those same problems. I had that same objection, right? If you're somebody like money objections, there's a huge thing, right? Or I have to talk to my spouse. If those are objections that you hear a lot, you can write them out with your counter, right? It's like, oh, Susie desperately wanted to work with me, but when we were talking about it, she really needed to talk to her spouse. And so I asked her these questions, and this is the result that she got. Or I coached her on how to talk to her spouse about it, right? And so you actually coach them through it in the email.
Cool.
So by the time they get to the end of it, they're already on the other side of it. And they're just like, oh my gosh, like, let's just do this. So that's one of my favorites.
I've never told a story before, but you were saying that, it reminded me. So when Colette and I first met, my wife, we were hanging out with a bunch of friends and stuff. And I used to have these lists. It was like my future wife, these are the qualities of my future wife, and these are the things she does. And I would always share those things. And it's funny because we were just hanging out at the time, and she told me, she's like, one day we're hanging at your house and you were talking about stuff, and she's like, huh. Like, I have that quality. I do that thing. She's like checking these things off, and she's like, huh. And then that was the first time in her mind, she's like, what if, because my wife's older than me, so she was like, wait, like, this is like this really weird fit, right? And like, so I did that close. I didn't even know it the whole time. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool because it's like, it's not as scary as like, this is why you should buy my thing. It's like, this is why other people did, and people will identify like, oh my gosh, I connected that person, that story, that thing, and again, drawing them to you.
Completely. And it doesn't have to be just one person. You can totally go through like 2 or 3 different avatars and just talking about like, these are the types of people that I helped attain this result. These are some of the objections that they have. These are some of the fears that they have. These are some of the results that they've gotten. And nobody likes being told what to do, right? If you're just like, you should do this, it's like, I don't want to, right? Yeah. Like your wall goes up. But if you're telling somebody a story, humans just learn that way, right? We love hearing stories, and we get like in this like little daze, and we just listen, right? And we let the information sink in. And so that's one of the reasons why that email is so powerful, because it helps you help your prospect identify, like self-identify whether they're your ideal client or not.
Yeah. So imagine again, now you're at a party, and you're talking to the person, and you're like, yes, this is what I do it for. I did it for that person over there and that person over there. You see all these people.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the next question that the person's probably going to ask you at that point?
Well, how do you do it for me?
Boom. Like, well, I've got a business. I got a thing. Like, do it for me now, right?
Yeah.
So that email leads us into email number 6, which is how do you do it now for me?
Yeah, for sure. And email number 6 is also super cool because it's the email where I like to really kind of zoom out to 30,000-foot view of your business, and you can kind of give them an overview of your entire value ladder. Because just because somebody's coming in off of a lead magnet doesn't necessarily mean that they're only a low ticket buyer, right? Like they could be ready for your highest ticket thing, but if we try to pigeonhole them and say, well, this is the only thing you can buy, they may not buy, right? And they may leave. And so what I like to do is say, because I help these kinds of people with these kinds of problems, I initially developed this product. And when I developed that product, I've learned that when you solve one problem, you immediately create another, right? And so I realized that this was the next problem everybody was having. And so I created this product. And then I realized that this was a problem, and this was a problem, and this was a problem. And so these are the different ways that I'm able to help these specific types of people create this result. And so that's really where you now have your links, you have your calls to action, you have anything like that, and I would prefer to see one link in an email, just so that you don't lose people, clicking out to different places. But if you can create a page where you have all your offers, and it's like, well, just go and click the one that's right for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And that's when they start buying. Now,
Yes.
think about like the built-up anticipation over these days of just like, they get to know you, like, oh my gosh, this person's like me. And then you start seeing these things and it keeps progressing and progressing. And by the end, they're just like, I want to buy something. And you're like, well, here's what I have to offer. It's like, oh, sweet. And like you said, it's interesting. We talked about the value ladder. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, about the value ladder, right? I think on that page, a lot of times it's like, here's my $100 course for people who want that. Mm-hmm. Here's my $3,000 live event. And here's my $10,000 mastermind, or whatever your version of that is, right? I can clean your teeth. I can whiten your teeth. I can give you braces, or whatever those things are. Like just offer it. And it's been interesting to me because when I wrote the first .com secrets book, I talked about the value ladder. And I think my belief at the time, and a lot of people's belief at the time, is like people have to go through step 1 to step 2 to step 3. It wasn't until later where I started realizing that some people just want to go to the top. Like when I met you and James, like you guys, I don't know if you bought anything ahead of time, but you're like, what's the most expensive thing? I'm like, well, I have my inner circle. You're like, sweet, we're in, boom. And you guys just like leapfrogged
I think
everything.
We went from like perfect webinar script to inner circle.
Yeah, they just leapfrogged right up. And so it's kind of cool in this email number 6 to be like, hey, here's the options. And some people, high ticket buyers will go for high ticket, low ticket will go for, and like people will kind of bracket themselves and put themselves in where it makes sense for them at that point. And then moving forward in other email sequences, you can focus specifically on a product or service. But during this onboarding, it's kind of like, this is what I do. And you're showing them like, here's the buffet, pick what makes most sense to you. And then that way people kind of self-bracket themselves. And now you've got business coming in.
It's like a getting to know you sequence, and I think showing up as who you really are and showing those quirks about yourself and telling stories about things that are important to you. And, in mine, like I acknowledge like my mentors all of the time. Like when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my ode to Russell. but it's awesome, and you always say like, give credit where credit is due. And I believe that this is an amazing place to do that, because when you're talking about how you learned this, how you earned this, it's like, what conferences did you go to? What books did you read? What coaches did you learn from? And that actually adds credibility. Like, it's not going to take anything away from you, because at the end of the day, you're the person that's providing this value to these people. You're the person who drew them in. And I actually just had this thought. It's like you're putting out a lead magnet, right? Mm-hmm. Continue to be magnetic. Like, this sequence actually allows you to continue drawing them in rather than like trying to like grab at them once they're there. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make, is that they go for the cash grab like really quickly. And I'm like, just let them sit there for a second and get to know you and get comfortable, so that when you do make that offer, they're ready to say yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, the one last question I'm going to ask you, because I know I've gotten this a lot over the last couple of days, is for some reason, not everybody, but there's a huge segment of people who hang out with us that always are like, well, that's cool, but it doesn't work for my business. So I love you, because I know you've done this you've done it for my business, yours, other people's, but I love to kind of show like a breadth of like, these are the types of businesses work for, and then help them understand, doesn't matter what business you're in, the process is still the same.
It really doesn't. Everybody likes to think that they're like a delicate, unique flower, and we all are as human beings, but marketing is the same no matter what industry you're in. And of course there's like, nuances. We've done it for e-commerce businesses. We've done it for physical product businesses. We've done it for dentistry businesses. We've done it for software businesses. We've done it for coaching businesses. We've done it for
network marketing,
esoteric businesses. We've done it for network marketing. Like, I mean, anything and everything that you can possibly think of, this sequence will help, because at the end of the day, behind all of this is a relationship with a human being, right? And human beings are by nature social animals and social creatures. And we want to feel connected, and we want to feel a part of something. And so when you create that space where they can actually come in and get to know you and understand who you are, what it is that you do, like you're helping them take those steps to come closer to your offer through these emails. And that's really what's going to create the relationship and the yes at the end of the day.
Awesome. And it works for all businesses. So,
yes, all businesses.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Yada, for sharing that. So we're almost towards the end. What I'm going to do, again, in like 2 minutes now, I'm going to give you guys the one pager. And the one pager is 2 really cool things. Well, there's a lot of cool things, but 2 of the coolest things is you're going to have a chance, if you want, to watch Yada actually read through her 6 email sequence when somebody comes into her world for her email copywriting things. And then also Jim Edwards built software that then takes her frameworks for each day. You fill in the forms, you click a button, and reverse engineers and writes these 6 emails for you. And as you'll see, like, they don't come out perfect. They come out like 95% there. You still got to go back, clean them up, and tweak your stories and add your adjectives and your things in there. But for the most part, it does an amazing job of like helping you start on that journey. One of the hardest things, as you know, and I know from like writing copy, writing words, is like starting with a blank page. It's just like that little flashing cursor, and you're just like, I hate that cursor. It just keeps like mocking me. And so the software we're giving you guys will do it. It'll pop out, there's 6 emails, and then you're like, oh, sweet, I just got to edit and tweak things, and it's so much easier.
Well, and I think Jim and I actually were talking about it. He's like, how much time do you think this saves people? And I was like, probably about 90% of the time, right? And that doesn't mean that you're going to go in there and in 30 seconds you're going to have these 6 emails. There's still going to be some efforting that you've got to, trash in, trash out. So you've got to really take the time to fill out the questions and the answers that Jim has in there for you. But I mean, it's insane, you guys. It's insane.
So cool. I'm excited for you guys to get it. Okay, before I give you the one pager though, yesterday I kind of brought up the fact that at the end of this 5-day challenge, I was thinking about on Monday starting to do One Funnel Away, the OFA challenge, and doing it live in the similar format as we've been doing it. You guys have been telling us you love this format of going live, getting the one pager, getting the homework, and doing it back and forth. And so we've been contemplating actually doing One Funnel Away live for 30 days starting on Monday. After I told you guys that, the amount of people who said please, please, please was a lot, so we finally committed to it. So that means Monday I'm going to be starting the One Funnel Away challenge live. And we got so many questions. You guys cool if I spend like 5 minutes going through that really quick, and then I'll give you guys the one pager and the software right afterwards? Or make sure you guys are all cool with that? I can't see you all, but if you're cool, say in the comments, say yes, Russell. Okay, I'm gonna go really quickly. It won't take more than 5 minutes, but I want to show you guys really quick. So they have these guys pull up the slides right here on the podium so I can see them as well. Okay, so the One Funnel Away challenge is I'm excited for a lot of things, but the thing I'm most excited by is we were making some new ads for this recently, and I literally got a hang from the ceiling like Tom Cruise did in Mission Impossible. So you'll start seeing these ads all over the place coming, but that's how dedicated I am to the art and to making sure you guys pay attention. As I hung myself from the ceiling, it was like literally one of the greatest days of my life. Anyway, so this is the One Funnel Away challenge, and it's very fun. Every single day, similar to the 5-day lead challenge, you're gonna get a mission just like this, okay? And the very first ever live, and again, One Funnel Away's been around for 2.5 years. In the past, it's been kind of an online course people take. This is the first time ever that I'm gonna be doing it live. So if you're here right now and we're live, starting Monday, we're gonna go live every single day for 30 days. In the future, it may be a recorded version, but this time is gonna be live. It's simplified from the old One Funnel Way. We've taken some things out, we simplified some things. It's gonna be so much fun. And so if you've done it in the past, you should still do it. You should definitely do it again because this one's updated, it's different, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So again, the first ever one starts this Monday live, same time, same place as these 5-day lead challenge are gonna be. We're starting Monday, we'll go 5 days a week going through this for 30 days, okay? Now really quick, I wanna show you guys, this is one of the promotional videos we made. So your challenge, you choose to accept it, is to go through OFA with us. So I'm gonna have you guys watch this video really, really quickly to kind of show you guys what One Funnel Away challenge is, what it looks like. And we come back, I'll walk you through kind of the structure, and then I'll give you guys the one pages right after that. So let's cue up the video now. What's the first thing you need, the second thing, and the third thing? Pretend like these are humans because they are. What does One Funnel Away mean? Like, what is the whole concept behind that? For everybody, it's different. For some of you guys, you're in a job you hate and you're trying to get out of that, right? For some of you guys, you are entrepreneurs and you got a business and maybe it's stuck and it's not where you want it to be yet. And some of you guys, it's one funnel that helps you get the bigger impact. My goal of this challenge is to help you guys to design and architect and understand what that funnel is and how it's going to work for you specifically. Belief is the most important part involved in all of this. I need you to believe this will work for you. For some reason, people think because it's a funnel, it's like this magic nerdy thing. It's like, no, it's people are people. This is just a process we're taking somebody through. Funnel is like having the best salesperson on earth take somebody through the process of finding exactly what they need. The difference between what happens here in a store and what happens here is I don't have to have a salesperson. The funnel does the selling for you. That's what you're trying to create for them. And if you do that, it increases the happiness of your customer. It'll increase how much money you make from every transaction, which makes it a better experience for you as well. That's what a funnel is. That's the big secret. The way this challenge is gonna work, each day there's gonna be new videos unlocked. Each one's gonna be a mission. After that mission's finished, there's gonna be some kind of task for you to do, and I need you to do it. Today's mission, we're gonna start getting into your offer sequencing. We're gonna be talking about offer hacking, the power of e-covers, publishing, story, squeeze page, sales page, order form, OTO page, how to fill your funnel, build out your dream 100 traffic, paid side of ads. This is like the #1 rule of direct response marketing. A confused mind always says no. The average attention span of a human being today, guess how long it is? 7 seconds. So because of that, your website is literally blocking people from giving you money. Hook, story, offer, going grabbing someone and getting their attention. Increase the offer, you make it better, people give you money, people give you the email address, people click on your ads. That's the magic.
The One Funnel Away Challenge was amazing. Thank you, Russell, for changing my life and changing my business.
A lot of people who get into this, they don't understand the fundamentals, and because of that, it's complicated.
I literally feel like I can open up any business right now.
When you understand the base core principles of direct response marketing, then funnels become really, really simple and really easy. This process will work for you. It'll change your business, it'll change your life, but most importantly, it's going to change lives to your customers.
I'm in the 2 Comma Club.
Business is not about you just making money, but you'll find very, very quickly as you go through this process, the excitement and energy and motivation for money doesn't last long. After you start making money, what will light you up is your ability to serve these customers.
This is a dream come true, man. I visualized this over and over again.
As you see their lives transform, that's what's gonna light you up. Like, that's the key. That's why we do all this stuff that we do. And it's gonna be why you're building your company as well.
Wow.
If you spend the next 30 days, put in the time, put in the effort, put in the energy, I promise you guys it'll be worth it. At the end of this, you'll have something really cool to show yourself, show your spouse, show your friends, show your family. It'll be like the launch pad for your entire new company. I need you to unglue from these external things that you're doing and just focus. It's a lot of work for a concentrated period of time, but it's worth it. Just one funnel away, and I'm excited to help you get there during this challenge. Oh man, I just got really excited for the OFA challenge. How are you feeling?
I'm going to take that.
Let's re-sign up. I'm so excited. Again, 2.5 years ago is when we recorded the very first One Funnel Away challenge. I've never done it live before, and starting Monday, we're going to be going live for 30 days in a similar format to this, and it's going to be really fun, really exciting. So let me walk you guys through how this whole process is going to work, okay? So number one, it's going to be very similar to what you guys have been experiencing this week. Every day, I will go live teaching you guys the strategy on a whiteboard, teaching you the next step in the process, okay? It'll be starting the same time, so noon Eastern, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 Pacific, and then you got to figure out the conversions if you live somewhere else, because I don't know how it works. But I'll be going live, same kind of thing, for 30 to 40 minutes a day, teaching you guys the strategy. As soon as that's done, once again, I'm creating one-pagers for every single step. I will give you the one-pager with the video of me actually doing the assignment I asked you to do and all the homework and everything like that, so you get the one-pager walking through the process. Okay, so I'll go live at, again, at 10 o'clock my time. As soon as it's done, you get the one-pager. And then that day at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, so it's at 3 Eastern Time, we have a full team that actually supports the OFA, okay? A full team of people, so every single day you can jump in and they do live coaching on that session, okay? So you listen to the strategy, you apply the strategy, you jump in, and if you're stuck, we've got live coaches there who literally sit there and do the thing with you. So if you're stuck, I can't figure it out, okay? Obviously in the 5-day lead challenge, because it's completely free, I can't afford to spend money on coaches to coach you through every single step in the process, but in One Funnel Away, all the money we get goes back into the coaches to help fulfill on the process, okay? So it's really cool. You get the strategy, right? You get the tactics, but you also get the implementation, which is why so many people who've gone through OFA have had success, because there's live coaches there. Every single day, you can log in, you can ask your questions. If you get stuck, if you get frustrated, there's people there to help serve you, to make sure that you actually execute and finish all the steps in the process, okay? So that's step number 3, is the implementation that happens every single day during the One Funnel Away challenge, which is really cool, okay? So to look at contrast, like how does this compare to that? So the 5-day lead challenge, what we did, we figured out your ultimate result, right? Then we figured out your core result. And from there, we took one of your splinter frameworks and we built the lead magnet out of it, right? And that's been the framework that we covered during the 5-day lead challenge, okay? So the One Funnel Away challenge is taking it to the next tier. What we do instead is we're taking this core result, okay? And from the core result, we're going to build out your very first ever sales funnel, okay? So we're going to have your sales funnel, your sales video, your offer, your order form bump, your upsell number 1, your upsell number 2, and your thank you page. So by the time the One Funnel Away challenge is done, you're going to have an actual offer to be able to sell people, okay? So 5-day lead challenge, you're generating leads off your lead magnet. Now you got these leads coming in. Now it's like, well, if you don't have a product yet or a business yet or a funnel yet, how do I make money? Okay, One Funnel Away is going to give you that funnel where you're actually going to sell your framework, sell your products, sell your services, and again, it's going to be happening over 30 days. By the time the 30-day process is done, what's cool is you're going to have an entire funnel that's built out. Your sales videos will be done, your offers will be done, your frameworks will be done, your products will be done, like all the pieces will be finished. They'll all be connected, and you'll have traffic coming into these funnels, and it's going to be really, really cool. Okay, so here's what the weeks look like. Week number 1, we're focusing on your offer and your frameworks. Number 2, we're building out your entire funnel. Week number 3, we're working on your upsells, your downsells, things like that. And week number 4 is all about traffic and selling more people into this funnel you're building. Okay, and so that's what it looks like. The one thing you guys are aware, again, the 5-day lead challenge has been free. The One Funnel Away challenge is a paid challenge, but it's just $100. Okay, and the coolest thing about it is if you are an affiliate, we pay out 100% affiliate commissions. Okay, this $100 is not about me. This is about getting you guys to put some skin in the game to make sure you're committed to actually following through and doing the process. Okay, so it's $100. What's that, $3 a day, basically? So it's $3 a day to get coached for me live for an hour, and then all the live coaches and stuff like that. And the other thing is, like, let's say you do this, you sign up for One Funnel Away Challenge, like, this is awesome. If you tell one of your friends, again, we pay out 100% affiliate commission. So if you sign up, you pay the $100, you get one of your friends to sign up, you get that $100. Okay, so you get one other person to sign up, it's completely free to you, okay? And so that, again, we're not making money off the One Funnel Away Challenge. My goal with the One Funnel Away Challenge is to give you guys the tools and the resources you need to be successful with funnels, okay? My mission, as you guys know, the top of my value ladder, right? That my ultimate result I'm trying to get for you guys is to grow your companies through sales funnels. By getting you guys into the One Funnel Away Challenge, that's how I do that. And so it's $100, it is a premium challenge, but you get all of this. And then again, if you refer anybody else, you get 100% commission, which is cool. And so if you want to be part of the One Funnel Away Challenge that's starting live on Monday, all you got to do is go to onefunnelaway.com. You can sign up and register for it there, and then get prepared for Monday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so that's kind of it for the One Funnel Away Challenge. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to give you guys your actual homework assignment. So if we can pull up the one pager that everybody's going to be getting here really quick. Yada hasn't actually seen this one pager yet.
No, I haven't. I'm so excited.
This is it. So across the top, you can see the doodles. These are what the 5 days look like. Oh, this is the video. So if you watch this video right here, this will be me actually showing you guys how we do it. Like, how do we fill out Jim's software? How do we get the emails written? How do we plug those into ClickFunnels, right? How do you plug them into the email sequence so that the emails automatically get sent out? So that video will walk you through all the tactics, the homework. It's me in my house doing the assignment with you. And then as you scroll down again, you'll see there's the 6 days. So you have a reminder what the frameworks look like. You have your spot here to kind of brainstorm out the 6 different days. And go up a little bit higher. Or sorry, the other way, lower. Yeah. And there's Yada's video. If you click on that, you have a chance to watch the video of Yada actually reading out her 6 email sequence, which is really fun. And then there's the software box, email copy generator. This is the software Jim built for you guys. You click on that, it'll give you the software, fill in the blanks, it'll write the entire thing. And then the third step then is plugging your email sequence into what we call follow-up funnels. Follow-up funnels is built inside of ClickFunnels. It is the thing that sends out the email. So when someone gives you their email address for the lead magnet, follow-up funnels say, this is the first email you sent out. This is the second. This is the third. It all happen automatically behind the scenes. You just got to write the emails, post them into follow-up funnels, and then that point forward, it's done. It just magically happens behind the scenes. So in there's the assignments, all the steps, everything's in there. I'll have them dropped a link down below where you guys can get the one pager for today. There it is, 5dayleadchallenge.com/follow-up funnel. That's where you go, and it'll take you to the one pager. Again, save it to your account, go through the process, and do your homework assignment, you guys. It's not a difficult one. It'll take you a little while. It's not hard, but it takes a while to go and fill the emails out. But when you're done, you'll guys have your 6 email sequence done. It'll be finished. It'll be amazing. And so again, there's the link down below, 5dayleadchallenge.com/follow-up funnels. And on top of that, I want to thank Yada for coming and serving you guys today. She did this for free out of the kindness of her heart. Super grateful for her doing that. If all of you guys in the comments down below, if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Zoom or wherever you're at, if you can tell Yada thank you so much for coming today and serving you guys. Super grateful for her and all she's done. And with that said, thanks you guys so much for hanging out with us. And we'll see you guys tomorrow when we start diving into traffic. Thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah.